Tales, Ancient Greek and Philosophers, Philosopher Tales. Introduction. Tales of Miletus was an ancient Greek pre-Socratic philosopher from Miletus in Ionia, Asia Minor. Thales was one of the seven sages, founding figures of an ancient Greece, and credited with the saying, "Know thyself," which was inscribed on the temple of Apollo at Delphi. Many regard him as the first philosopher in the Greek tradition, breaking from the prior use of mythology to explain the world and instead using natural philosophy. Thales theorized that this single substance was water. Thales thought the earth was floated in water. Life. The main source concerning the details of Thales' life and career is the doxographer Diogenes. In his 3rd century, ad work lives and opinions of the eminent philosophers. Well, it is all we have. Diogenes wrote some 8 centuries after Thales' death, and his sources often contained unreliable or even fabricated information. It is known Thales was from Miletus, a mercantile city settled at the mouth of Meander River. Travel. The culture of archaic Greece has heavily influenced by those of the Levant and Mesopotamia. It is said Thales was engaged in trade and visited either Egypt or Babylonia. Egypt. Several ancient authors assume that Thales at one point in his life visited Egypt, where he learned about geometry. It is considered possible that Thales visited Egypt since Miletus had a permanent colony there, namely Neucrates. Babylon. Aside from Egypt, the other mathematical advanced ancient civilization before the Greeks was Babylonia. Another commonplace attribution of the travel for mathematically minded philosopher. At least one ancient historian, Josephus, claims Thales visited Babylonia. Theories and study. Early Greeks and other civilizations before them often invoke idiosyncratic explanation of natural phenomena, with reference to the will of anthropomorphic gods and heroes. Instead, Thales aimed to explain natural phenomena via rational hypotheses that reference natural processes themselves. Water is the art. Thales' most famous idea was his philosophical and cosmological thesis that is all water, which comes down to us through a passage of Aristotle's Metaphysics. In the work, Aristotle reported Thales' theory that the arc or originating principle of nature was the single material substance, water. Ancient Greek and philosophy. Philosopher Heraclitus. Introduction. Heraclitus, born in 540 BCE, Ephesus, Anatolia, now Seljuk, Turkey, died 480. Greek philosopher remembered for his cosmology, in which fire forms the basic material principle of an orderly universe. Little is known about his life, and the one book he apparently wrote is lost. His views survive in the short fragments quoted and attributed to him by the later authors, though he was primarily concerned with explanation of the world around him. Heraclitus also stressed the need for people to live together in social harmony. He complained that most people failed to comprehend the logos, Greek or reason, the universal principle through which all things are interrelated and all natural events occur, and thus live like dreamers with a false view of the world. Style. Heraclitus' style has been compared to Cybele, whose raving lips, uttering things mirthless, unbedizened, and unperfumed, reaches over 1,000 years with her voice. Thanks to the God in her, can characterize the main features of Heraclitus' writing as linguistic density, meaning that single words and phrases have multiple meanings, and resonance, meaning that expressions evoke one another. Heraclitus used literary devices like alliteration and camus. Philosophy. Heraclitus has been the subject of numerous interpretations. According to the entry of the Sanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, Heraclitus has been seen as a material monist or a process philosopher, a scientific cosmologist, a metaphysician, and a religious thinker, an empiricist, a rationalist, a mystic, a conventional thinker, and a revolutionary, a developer of logic, one who denied the law of non-contradiction, the first genuine philosopher and an anti-intellectual obscurantist. Pantherae. Jonathan Barnes states that Pantherae, everything flows, is probably the most familiar of Heraclitus, saying yet few modern scholars think he said. Barnes observed that although the exact phrase was not ascribed to Heraclitus until the 6th century by Simplicius, a simple saying expressing the same idea, Pantaikore, or everything moves, is ascribed to Heraclitus by Plato in Stratylus. You cannot step into the same river twice.
Anaximander was an ancient Greek philosopher who lived around the 6th century before the Common Era. He was born in the city of Miletus, located in present-day Turkey, and was a contemporary and teacher of Anaximenes. Despite being one of the most influential philosophers of his time, not much is known about Anaximander's personal life. However, his works and ideas have had a profound impact on the development of Western philosophy. One of Anaximander's fundamental concepts was the idea of the aperon, which can be translated as the boundless or infinite. He believed that the aperon was the primary substance from which all things arose and to which all things would eventually return. Unlike his predecessor Thales, Anaximander did not attribute a specific element or material to be the basis of all existence. Instead, he proposed the aperon as an indeterminate and unbounded source of all reality. Anaximander also made significant contributions to geography and cosmology. He is often credited with creating the first known map of the world, called the Anaximander map. This map depicted the known lands and seas of the time and introduced the concept of a circular Earth surrounded by an ocean. Furthermore, Anaximander proposed a cosmological model in which the Earth was suspended in the center of the universe with celestial bodies, including the Sun and the Moon, moving around it. He suggested that these heavenly bodies were rings of fire with their own distance and size. Anaximander's innovative ideas laid the foundation for further philosophical and scientific inquiry. His concept of the aperon influenced later philosophers such as Heraclitus and Empedocles, as well as the development of metaphysics. In summary, Anaximander was an ancient Greek philosopher who explored the fundamental nature of existence, geography, and cosmology. His ideas, centered on the concept of the aperon, contributed significantly to the development of Western philosophy and scientific thought. Anaximenes was an ancient Greek philosopher who lived in the 6th century before the Common Era. He was a student and follower of Anaximander, who is another significant philosopher of the time. Anaximenes hailed from the city of Miletus, located in present-day Turkey. While not much is known about Anaximenes' personal life, his philosophical ideas have left a vital impact on the development of early Greek thought. He belongs to the Milesian school, which focused on understanding the fundamental nature of the universe through natural explanations rather than mythological or supernatural reasoning. One of Anaximenes' core theories focused on the concept of the primary substance, or the basis of all existence. He proposed that air, or the air, was this underlying substance. Anaximenes believed that by condensing or rareifying the air, different forms of matter could be created. For example, when air condenses, it becomes cooler and denser, leading to the formation of water or even earth and stones. Anaximenes also theorized that everything in the universe originated from the air. including celestial bodies such as stars and the sun. He suggested that the Earth, for instance, was a flat, circular disk that floated on air. While Anaximenes' ideas might seem rudimentary or incorrect by modern scientific standards, they laid the groundwork for further exploration and questioning of the natural world. His emphasis on natural explanations rather than the supernatural was a crucial step forward in shaping Western philosophy and scientific thinking. Overall, Anaximenes' life and works provide valuable insights into the early beginnings of Greek philosophy, specifically focusing on understanding the nature of the universe and the fundamental substance from which everything emerges.
Pythagoras was an ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician, known for his contributions to mathematics, music theory, and philosophy. He was born around 570 BCE on the Greek island of Samos and is often referred to as the founder of the Pythagorean school of thought. Pythagoras is famous for his discovery of the Pythagorean theorem, which states that in a right-angled triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. This theorem is still widely used in mathematics and has many practical applications. Aside from his mathematical achievements, Pythagoras also made significant contributions to music theory. He believed that music and mathematics were closely intertwined, and he developed the concept of the harmonic ratios in music, which laid the foundation for musical harmony. In addition to his work in mathematics and music, Pythagoras had a profound influence on philosophy and spirituality. His teachings included ideas about the immortality of the soul, reincarnation, and the pursuit of knowledge as a means of attaining inner purity and harmony. He believed in the concept of a universal, divine harmony that governed the cosmos and all aspects of human life. Pythagoras' works have come down to us mainly through the writings of his followers, as he himself did not write any known text. His teachings were transmitted orally and through the writings of his disciples, such as Philolaus and Pythagoreans.
Parmenides is known for being the Greek philosopher who proposed that being is and non-being is not. He also developed a system of logic and epistemology known as the method of dialectic. Parmenides is considered to be the first known philosopher to propose that our knowledge of the world derived from a reason and not through senses. He was a Greek philosopher who lived in Elea, Italy in 5th century BC. So here is an example of his belief, which is being is and non-being is not. A man cannot step in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man. This meant to illustrate the idea that everything from the universe is in constant change and flux, and that nothing truly exists from the same form from moment to moment. It also suggests that we, as humans, are constantly evolving and changing, and we cannot truly return to the same state that we were in previously. Empedocles was a Greek philosopher who lived in Sicily, Italy in 5th century BC. He was known for his belief of the four elements of the earth, water, fire, and air. Empedocles also developed a system of logic which is known for the method of opposites, which posited that the truth lies in balancing two opposite forces. Empedocles is also widely known for his belief in reincarnation and for his assertion that the soul is a mixture of the four elements. Here is an example of the balancing opposites. And there is a strife in all things, and everything is its own opposite by which it is defined. For all things differ from each other in that they are more or less. So this quote demonstrates the central idea of Empedocles' philosophy that everything in the world as an opposite, and that true understanding lies in the acknowledgement of these opposites and the balancing of them. It also suggests that there are no such thing as absolute truth, but rather a dynamic relationship between the opposing views and ideologies.